Good morning, I'm Robert Tan. Let's unlock the tricks of the trade, get to know the brilliant minds who changed their industries and created innovations that continue to influence lives. Be inspired here on Trade Talks, My Milyonaryo. It's the usual advice. If you want to start a business, you can't go wrong with the food enterprise because everybody eats. But it still has its challenges, and one has to be innovative enough to keep up with the competition. One such enterprise is Zavys Deli, serving cold cuts and other delectable meals that are not just great tasting but are also Instagrammable. Let's find out more about Zavys Deli. We'll be speaking with its owner and CEO, Kristine Real. Good morning, Kristine. Welcome to My Milyonaryo. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah, hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here.
Yes, it's been a while since we last spoke to you when you started Zavys in 2023.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
2 years ago. So let's start, Kristine. Let's start with a spark. How did Zavys Deli come to life? Original plan ba yan or did you just throw it in?
Honestly, it was not a grand business plan, no. It was actually a survival, creativity, and yeah, it started the year 2020 during the pandemic.
During the pandemic?
Yeah. So the people cannot gather, and but they still need to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I saw the need of your created and still they can still celebrate at their homes, and we can still deliver the charcuterie boards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
So that's where Zavys was born.
Before we go on, before Zavys Deli started, you mentioned it started during the pandemic. But before that, did you have any other businesses that you were doing that got hit by the pandemic and suddenly by accident you started Zavys?
Yeah, actually, before Zavys, no, I used to have a spa. But then pandemic hits, no, we need to close it down, and then I had to pause from working and from businesses, no. And yeah, yun yung naisip ko na why don't I start Zavys?
Ang hirap yan. Like, maraming mga spas during that time had to close down because a lot of people couldn't go out and a lot of operations in the offices had to stop. Kayo,
Yeah.
isa kayo dyan.
Yeah,
How much of a hit na nangyari sa inyo because of that?
Grabe, actually, nahirapan din kasi ako because I had to take care of my staff and their families. No? Hindi naman pwede natin basta sila iiwan and pauuwin sa provinces nila. No? So I thought na it would take a month or 2 months only, and then naghintay kami. But then still, we cannot go out and we cannot still operate the spa. And then finally, I have decided to shut down the spa. And then, we need to separate lives.
Medyo malayo from running a spa business, tapos bigla kang nag-pivot into a food business. Paano nyo naisip to?
Actually, my partner, this was during pandemic na, my partner gave me this charcuterie board. And then I realized na sabi ko, parang mas maganda if ako yung gumawa ng charcuterie board. And then, why not try ko sa family and friends ko. And I didn't expect na they will really like it. So I received that feedback, good feedback from them. And then I realized na, uy, why not? Like, pwede ko siyang gawing negosyo. So my passion turned into, this business, Zavys Deli.
Now, Zavys' name is, it sticks. Now, how did you come up with the name Zavys?
Zavys, actually inspired from my daughter's name.
Okay.
So, doon talaga siya nag-start sa name ng daughter ko, and it's a nickname that stuck. And na, where we talk about it, my partner and I talked about it na why don't we name it after her? And I thought about it. This is not just a business. This is about my family. And ayun, doon na talaga nag-start, and then I didn't expect na continuously ang magiging namin.
Pag binabanggit natin charcuterie, for the sake of our viewers who are not very familiar, ano ba tong charcuterie boards? Ano yung nilalaman yan? It's a bit fancy, no? Yung pag sinabi mo charcuterie.
Yeah, actually, charcuterie is a French term. It's a curated meats and cheeses. And yeah, and then you get to prepare it where on the table or on the boards. Yeah.
So, medyo fancy. Pag sinabi mo charcuterie, parang medyo mahal yan. Paano nyo naisip at naggawin to? And how was it dealing, let's say, with your first clients? Isa ba to sa mga obstacles niyo because it's kind of a fancy kind of product during pandemic pa, maraming takot pang lumabas, and how were you able to, let's say, yung logistics nyo into sending your products sa mga customers nyo?
Actually, I was really surprised na madami palang may gusto dito ng charcuterie. Yung like expensive cheeses and premium wines, meats, no. Pero nung na-realize ko na ang dami ko nang na accept na orders, no. Doon na nagtuloy-tuloy yung Zavys, no. Kahit na alam natin na mahal siya, mas madami pa rin may gusto. Marami pa rin naghahanap. So that's when I started to make our own charcuterie boards.
How hard was it to source itong yung mga nilalagay nyo sa charcuterie boards? May mga meats, may mga cheese. Siyempre, during the pandemic, hirap din mag-source ng mga goods like that. How were you able to go through that kind of obstacle?
Actually, there's a lot of reputable suppliers out here in Manila. And surprisingly, they're still open, and they can still provide the meats and cheeses. So that's where I continue making the charcuterie boards.
When you were starting out, mahirap ba i-convince yung mga ibang customers to buy from you? Very competitive space din ng food, lalo na pag medyo yung mga high-end.
Actually, yeah. At first talaga, I was overthinking. Like the detail.
Kadalasan ganun ng mga
talaga. So sabi
entrepreneur.
ko, will they like it? Or is this enough? Ganon. So, but, people trusted me. And then when I got the first feedback from our clients, it's where I thought na, wow, it's working. So that's the time that I can continue with the charcuterie board.
Let's talk about yung big milestone nyo when you started this business. Do you remember when you hit your first million? May nangyari bang ganon? Umabot sa ganyang kalaki yung kinikita nyo dito sa business na to? And you think, this is something viable that I'll continue.
Yeah, actually, honestly, it was a slow grind, no. I didn't actually think, or I was actually surprised that we hit our first million. But when I looked back at the books, I was like, nothing fancy na, like it was just quiet moment, like, wow, we're really doing this. So, ganun siya na hindi ko talaga na-expect na hit na namin yung first million that time.
How did it feel looking back na yung mga pinagdaanan yung mga trials was there any point in time before you hit that first million na you said, tama ba tong negosyong pinasukan ko? Dahil kasi spa. Pero because of the pandemic, I had to close down, nag-pivot tayo dito. Was this the right thing to do?
Actually, there's many times na that I would want to quit. But when I saw my staff proud of their work. And we've been receiving messages from our clients that how we made their events very beautiful, like successful yung events nila because of Zavys Deli. And that's what made me think of why did I start this.
Paano ba lumaki? You started off as just selling yung mga charcuterie boards. How did it now going to events na tinatawag na kayo to host events, maggawa kayo ng mga charcuterie boards yun ba? Or anong klaseng display ang ginagawa nyo sa mga events nyo?
Actually, it's the grazing table, no. But then we had this client before na they booked us for the grazing table itself, no. But then they asked me to decorate the entire venue then. So I was like, okay, so event stylist na rin pala ako. So ganun siya. Actually, we can cover everything, no, pagdating sa events, no. So, na-manage naman namin yon. And I was thinking na hindi lang pala grazing table ang pwede kong gawin, no. So, yeah.
Is this something that nung nag-umpisa kayo, you just studied? Did you go look for, did you research on this and all that? But before we go to that, our conversation still about this business is just getting started. We'll take a short break. Trade Talks, My Milyonaryo. We'll be right back. We're back on Trade Talks. We continue our conversation with Kristine Real. She's the CEO of Zavys Deli. Now, Kristine, before the break, I was asking, when you started itong Zavys Deli, itong charcuterie, did you have to learn, go back? Meron bang charcuterie school? Was there anything that you had to relearn or learn again when you decided, this is a viable business for me to do?
Actually, no eh. Wala naman, hindi ko siya talaga pinag-aralan. It's just my passion. Like, mahilig talaga akong mag-decorate or mag-host ng parties and do lahat ng food, no. Gusto ko different colors and I want them colorful, ganyan. So, there's this my cousin na they always ask me or to host a party, ganyan, and then to decorate the table. So, that's where it started talaga na, ay, dito pala ako may talent.
So that helped. That helped na talagang mahilig ka mag-host, na mahilig ka mag-host ng events, mga parties, personal with family and friends. Did this really help when companies started getting you to put grazing tables and host the event for them?
Yeah, yes. So, parang na rin din yun eh. Actually, hobby na rin. No, like, kahit sa house, no, pag lunch or dinner, I love decorating our table. Ganon. Even the food, so. Yeah.
We see a lot of grazing tables online, but we know, behind the scenes, it gets crazy. Now, meron ka bang unforgettable or mga hilarious stories that happened to you while setting up in an event? Meron ba anything that went wrong but then after a while, okay naman?
Unforgettable. Nako, madami. Pero meron talaga, isa talaga na gano'n. Hindi ko talaga siya, actually, tapos na ako mag-set up ng table noon. No? It was a very beautiful table na, the food all prepared na. And then, I just wanted to, look at the table, and I stepped back and, I admired. And then, out of nowhere, the table, went slide.
Huh?
So, yeah, actually, talaga nandun na lahat ng food. So,
Nalaglag or
nag-slide siya, and then it turned out the table leg wasn't properly locked. So ako naman, sabi ko, and then my client and I had to, it was to carry the entire table. No, para hindi lang mahulog yung food.
so muntik ka na. Muntik ka
Yeah,
na.
talagang, nag-slide talaga siya, no? So sabi ko, oh my God, how much yung table na to? So parang, hindi ko
Grabe
naisip
na.
na
Let's say,
parang,
kunyari, nalaglag lahat yun. How much usually mga ganyan? Magkano yung mga...
actually, that time, sabi ko, my God, sabi ko, parang kailangan ibalik yung, yung
Naku,
55,000 ng client. So talagang, ayun talaga yung, yung hindi ko talaga na-expect na mangyari. Because, lesson learned that I have to double check the table leg. So if it's properly locked. So that time talaga, hindi ko na-expect na talagang almost nahulog lahat ng food.
Now you mentioned it does get crazy. Paano mo na ma-manage yung time and also do you train your people so pag nag-host kayo ng event, how to set up, ikaw mismo ang nagde-design or do you have some help?
I have my food attendants with me, but I do the works. Majority of the setting up
Design.
of the grazing table. Ako
Ano yung
talaga
nagiging
yun,
inspiration mo in every event? May tinatanong ba yung client or do you talk with your client kung ano yung magiging design or purely inspiration pagdating mo doon, this is what I want?
Yeah, actually no eh. Pero kasi I have this attitude na no, just I'll take care of everything. Ako na yung magde-decide kung ano yung gusto kong design ng table mo. But, of course, no, I still ask my clients na, what would you want for your event? What would you want your visitor to see once they came inside the venue, no? Kasi may ganun eh, may gusto na parang gusto nila, maganda lang yung table, na bongga talaga, no? But ako talaga yung nagde-decide most of the time.
Now, from the start of putting up Zavys accidentally and looking at now, ano yung mga changes na nakita mo from the humble beginnings na sinimulan mo yung negosyong to and now, ano yung nakita mong difference? Ano yung mga lessons learned mo doon?
Actually, yung changes na nakita ko talaga is from where I begin is from how I set up the table. I didn't expect na mabilis yung transition nung how I curate or design the table. Madaming changes na nangyari. Most especially when it comes sa design ng food and how I arrange it sa arrangements din ng food, no. At first, of course, no, hindi naman perfect talaga lahat, no, sa una, no. And then, you will learn na rin gradually. And pag every time
Parang
na makikita ko
learn by
na...
doing, eh, no?
Yeah,
Oo.
learn by doing na rin yun, no? Eh pag nakikita ko na, ay parang mas maganda yung gawa ng ibang grazing table. But it's challenging for me, no?
Now, in this field, in any field, in entrepreneurship and business, being a woman boss is very competitive. It's not easy. Now, what were the biggest assumptions or challenges you had to break to get where you are now?
I would say being underestimated. Because people assume that I'm just doing a cute little business, But I still need to push because I need to prove something, And just let's see what the result is.
And finally, let's end on this. If your entire journey could be turned into one powerful message to our viewers, for anyone chasing a dream, what would be the first line and how would you end it? What kind of advice would you be giving them?
Actually, for this, no, you don't need a big puhunan, no. You only need the right idea. And you have to make sure that you have the passion to do it. No? And it just needs to be real. That's it.
Talagang, it's a very hard space, lalo na pag, if you're a woman, sinabi mo parang cute lang, but
Yeah.
yung that kind of advice is very strong. And another final word, those who want to start a business, lalo na sa food, ano yung just one-liner, one advice to those who want to start a food business?
Don't be scared. You know, mas maganda yung challenging and you have to be, like what I've said, it just needs to be real.
Just start.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kristine, for joining us this morning. Very inspirational, your journey, yung accidental business, but now it's really going well, successful. We continue to pray for your success, and thank you for joining us here in My Milyonaryo.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And that's today's show. Catch us again on Trade Talks My Milyonaryo for inspiring stories like these of entrepreneurs and innovators and the secrets to their success. I'm Robert Tan. Keep it here on the Bilyonaryo News Channel.